Hello there, my name is Steve Rennie and I am the Renman. I've been in this music business for about 36 years now, and a couple of years ago I started a website called renmanmusicandbusiness.com to help young artists and music professionals navigate their way around the business. We have a section on that website called Ask Renman, and each week I answer questions from our members. This week I'm going to be answering some questions from a member of CD Baby, who are a great bunch of folks that we've had an opportunity to work with a number of times. They're doing some great things on behalf of the artists, so I'm happy to help. They had a question from one of their members by the name of Sam Page at sampagemusic.com. And Sam wanted to get my take, excuse me, on the future of digital downloads. So let me wax philosophical here on that subject. First off, I've been listening to music for a very long time, as you can probably tell. And when I started listening to music, it was all vinyl. It was on 78 RPMs, 45 RPM singles. And then my first albums that I bought were 33 1/3 LP albums, music from the Rolling Stones, Beatles, Who, all the bands that I grew up with. So the truth of the matter is there's been a constant evolution of formats over the years. The common denominator amongst all of them was it didn't matter what kind of format you liked. If you didn't like the music, the format was secondary to the conversation. Personally, for me, I'm a big fan of streaming today. Having listened to all those different formats, I find the streaming format the most practical one for me. I'm not interested in the physical packaging anymore. All the liner notes and bios and photos that you typically had in an album package are all on the web, and it doesn't clutter up my desk or my office, so that's a plus for me. I think the big upshot, or the greatest takeaway of this internet revolution with respect to music is that for the first time now, consumers are driving this format conversation. It's not a record label deciding how it's going to work because they have some vested interest in it. The consumers are telling people how they want to get their music. The formats, as I mentioned, has been driven by vested interest in the process. Initially, it was record companies who had big investments in manufacturing plants and distribution operations for both vinyl and then CD. And once they built all that stuff, they wanted to get as much mileage out of it as they could. And so they resisted some of the formats that consumers were interested in, which ultimately was the digital format. I find it interesting that most recently, Apple Computer, who are typically a very forward-thinking bunch of people, they were big supporters of the digital download business because it helped fuel their devices, their digital players, the iPhones, the iPods, the iPads, and all of those great digital devices that they've resurrected the company on. I think the biggest vote of confidence in where the music business is going, which is streaming, in my opinion, is their recent purchase of Beats Music. I suspected that if they believed that streaming was not going to be the ultimate format, they wouldn't have spent all that money, $3 billion-ish, on Beats Music. So that's my take on it. Good news for all of this, consumers are driving. The most important thing is you should be able to get your music in a format that works for you, whether that's vinyl, whether it's downloads, whether it's streaming, whether it's, old school, any way you want it. That's the most important thing. And I think the second takeaway is for all you artists that are out there that might be watching this, make great music and just accept the fact that people are going to listen to it the way they want to listen to it. And the most important thing is that they listen. Thanks for joining us.